Good evening and welcome to the 4A Sectional Championship game here in Gore, Oklahoma, where you have the Gore Pirates coming in and hosting the number 17 team in the entire state of Oklahoma, the Wolves, hailing from Edmond Santa Fe High School. And it should be a big-time matchup, one matchup that could have multiple Division I prospects on the field. This Edmond Santa Fe team is a legit squad, and they have an arsenal of weapons. Demarius Robinson, Caius Henry being just a couple of them. But you can see the roster on screen right now. They have guys that can simply be impact players. Led by their quarterback, Malachi Miller, who is a junior. And also on the defensive side, Darren Noro, who is just a sophomore. This is a team that could give the best teams in the state of Oklahoma some serious trouble. But with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right into it. And guys, if you're excited about this sectional championship game, make sure you go ahead and smash that like button and hit that subscribe button as well if you like big time plays like the one that we got from the sophomore sensation Porter Lindstrom, who's going to recover the fumble, and the Gore Pirates will take over inside the 30-yard line. But the big time question is, can our backup Derek Davis rise to the occasion here tonight? Derek Davis, his first play of the game, just a little something to get him hit, get him used to the gravity of the game, and he'll pick up a gain of 9. So he got his quarterback hit, and he's going to get nice and settled in, throwing a nice accurate pass to our tight end Jake Durant. And now we're in the goal line. First and goal from inside the 10-yard line. Going to hand it off to Carl Durant, trying to stay on his feet, but gets walloped at the 1-yard line. Funny, had a surefire touchdown, and if he didn't have tripped there for a moment, he might have actually gotten it. Instead, it's going to be a third and goal where we'll line up in a 5-wide set, see if we can find somebody to get open, and sure enough, he's going to find his fellow senior, Casey Shiverly, playing in his final game in a Gore Pirates jersey. And on the first possession of the game, he'll take the Gore Pirates and put them up by 7. So, I really love the start that we've had so far here in the sectional championship game. But let's see if we can keep it up, as Edmond Santa Fe will try to run the option. But Malachi Miller, well, he's going to have nowhere to go. He's actually going to lose some yards. That's Thomas Houskes that's able to finish the play off. But Miller is going to set up a play action. That doesn't work. Nice interior pressure by Jamie Fletcher. And all of a sudden, it's 3rd and 14. Can we force a 3 and out followed by a turnover? Oh, would the Gore faithful be loving to see that? But instead, Caius Henry is going to expose our corners, and he's going to take this all the way to the crib. Touchdown, Wolves and Edmond Santa Fe. Well, they will immediately come on out here, and they will even this game up. Zaire Joseph didn't even have terrible coverage. It's just that Caius Henry, he is arguably one of the most dynamic athletes in the state of Oklahoma. And we found that out the hard way. We definitely found that out the hard way. So it's going to be a tie ball game here at 7 apiece. And unfortunately for us, we're going to end up going 3 and out on our very next possession. So, that being said, really need our defense to step up here. And it looks like the Wolves offense is finding a rhythm. Let's see if we can stop that rhythm here on a 3rd and 11 though. Miller drops back, does face some pressure over to the left-hand side. And we had guys there. Easton Lynn, the sure-handed senior, he usually does not miss those tackles, but sure enough, he misses that one, and so the drive will continue for the Wolves. That won't be the only 3rd down that will be converted here, as Caius Henry gets loose a 2nd time. Oh, yes, he did. Call it a Britney Spears song, because, oops, he did it again. Touchdown, Edmond Santa Fe, and the Wolves, for the very first time in this ball game, they will take the lead. And we're quickly finding out why this is one of the better teams in the state of Oklahoma. So a possible big drive coming up for the Pirates, as he'll just try to pick up this first down with the screen, trying to get it out to the junior and Jody Gentry, but that gets fumbled as well. A turnover for the Pirates, and Dante Austin is going to immediately take it back to the crib. Touchdown, Edmond Santa Fe. And this first quarter is immediately starting to really turn into a disaster as Edmond Santa Fe goes on 21 unanswered points. Then this first quarter of action. So now our offense comes back out onto the field after a scoop and score on the previous possession. And so what it barrels down to is, can we do what needs to be done just to avoid getting ran off the field? This is a danger zone type territory. You know this team can score in an absolute heartbeat. Thankfully, Jackson Durant understands the excitement, and he'll get his first catch for a gain of 20. Now Derek Davis is going to settle back in here a little bit as Jody Gentry will come out, and he will make up for the fumble that he had on the previous drive. His second catch going for a lot more positive results. So now we find ourselves in Edmond Santa Fe territory, and we find Carl Durant out loose again, able to pick up a gain of 16 on the play in order to get a red zone opportunity. Davis will drop back the pass. He's facing pressure up the right-hand side. That pass was a little inaccurate. Was actually trying to get it out to Jody Gentry once again. It just ended up being in Jake Durant's vicinity. So, he's going to make the catch, and he'll make this a much more manageable third down than what it would have been if he didn't go for that pass. Shout out for the CPU to be smart. But we're going to try to run some good old option here, and this was actually pretty close. I was actually not sure if we picked up this first down or not, but thankfully they did come out and give it to us. So now it's a 3rd and goal once again, trying to set up the read option, and it doesn't work. Darius Davis ends up getting dropped in the backfield, and at this point, we just got to come out. We got to accept the points. We got to take the points, what they are given to us. But there's some more action going on around the state of Oklahoma. This is a big sectional championship, one between Southlake and Carl Albert. Whoever wins that game is going to move on to the quarterfinals of the bigger state playoffs that we'll see if we even get an invitation or not. We do need plenty of help, and that even does factor in if we can somehow come back and win this game. Nothing is certainly guaranteed, but maybe this could help us out here. A 3rd and 7. We have not been able to get him off the field on 3rd down yet today, and that is unfortunately going to continue. The sophomore wide receiver Nico Cooper, he is also a Division I prospect for the year number 4 graduating class. So we won't see him in college after this offseason. It'll be a couple years from now, but you see his talent there, able to keep his concentration. And now Edmond Santa Fe is looking to continue to drive, going back over to Nico Cooper, who has nowhere to go. Chase Henry is going to be able to bring him down. And after we use one of our timeouts, we might have a little bit of a 2-minute drill on our hands. We got to come out and execute, though, as Davis drops back the pass, doesn't like what he sees downfield. He's actually just going to dump it off to Vita St. Louis. Vita St. Louis able to pick up a gain of 8. But we had to use another timeout. Probably would have been better off going ahead and running for that first down instead. But hey, sometimes beggars can't be choosers, especially when you do end up having a backup quarterback. You got to remember Derek Davis, while he does have experience playing, this is his first start of the season. And oh my goodness, what a dot to Jackson Durant that will set up the Pirates inside the 20-yard line. And we have a chance to make this a one-score game, and we'll do exactly that. Touchdown Pirates! And this score squad is not going away against the number 17 team in the state. So then we have ourselves a studio update as we get more news of Southlake and Carl Albert. And it looks like they are going to be in the game of the century. These two teams that might be fighting to the final whistle. And our game can certainly turn that way as well, as with 1 minute left, we're only down by 4 points. Edmond Santa Fe will take over with about a minute left to play here in this first half, and they'll start with maybe a little bit of a late hit on Roland Garrett, but they will not pull the flags out for that one. And then on a halfback screen, Demarcus Robinson gets loose, or at least so he thought. Oh, did just in time line him up like a Christmas tree. Instead, it's going to be 1st and 10, where Miller is going to throw it out onto the perimeter, and so that will be an incomplete. Very next play, though, a 2nd and 10 coming up as they'll look over the middle, and that will also be dropped. Kind of got bailed out there as that could have gone for a first down if that was actually hauled in. Instead, looking at 3rd and 10 as they'll go ahead and get things going up to the right-hand side. Miller is going to try to set up another screen, but look who tracks him down, the sure-handed tackler in Easton Lynn. And so, with 30 seconds left in this first half, we have a chance at this ball one more time. 1st and 10, taking on from the 40-yard line. I just burped that sexy, as this throw was sexy as well, but it's dropped. Oh, that could have been a huge play. Might have been a touchdown, too. But instead, going to have to run it back with some time left on the clock. But Derek Davis, he is not phased. He's going to drop a dime. Oh, my goodness. Are we sure this is the backup quarterback? This is insane right now, as Davis will throw again, and that nearly gets intercepted. Glad it wasn't, but boy, was that sure close. Instead, we're looking at 3rd and 8, where Davis will line up in the shotgun formation. He has 3 receivers, as Davis has a clean pocket to work through, looks over to the left-hand side, and finds Jody Gentry before getting out of bounds. That'll leave just 7 seconds on the clock. And our special teams coordinator at that point does not want to risk it for the biscuit. We're going to go ahead and just take the points, and hey, why not when we have such an automatic kicker like we do in the freshman Jake Hills, one of your guys' customs, by the way. And that will do it here for this first half of action. A very good game here in the 4A sectional championship. Edmond Santa Fe will have a 1-point lead at the half. So now let's go ahead and jump into the second half of action. And because we defer to the second half, we start with the ball. Let's see what we can do with this additional opportunity as Derek Davis starts off by setting off quite the tone. A 24-yard run, but the physicality to start this second half. Your Gore Pirates, man, they came to play today. You love to see it. Let's see if we can build off of it, though, as Davis sets up the play action, throws to the left-hand side. He's got Jake Durant wide but naked open, and that's a huge first down for the Gore Pirates, setting themselves up inside the 15-yard line, where we could technically get the first down without scoring, but that would be a tough feat to achieve. I just want to get that touchdown more than anything else so that we have a more solidified lead. Let's see if those dreams can come true here on a 3rd and 3 as we're going to try to run it up the gut. And we got a nice little hole here for Carl Durant, who finds the end zone. Touchdown, Pirates! And the Gore Pirates are going to take a 27-21 lead. Okay, baby. So we have the lead, and we even have a chance to expand that lead as well, as Edmond Santa Fe actually goes 3 and out on the next possession. So a chance to have possibly our largest lead of the game so far. However, that will be made irrelevant if we don't pick up these 7 yards, though, as Davis is going to just hand it off to Carl Durant. He's going to try to fight forward, but he only picks up a gain of 5, so a big decision for our guys. And you know what? We're going to go ahead and risk it for the biscuit. 4th and 2. We're going to go for it here, put it in the hands of our backup quarterback, who's having himself a good game and is going to continue to have a good game. Ryan Furenbacher making the catch. We haven't said his name, I feel like, in quite some time. Welcome back to reality, Ryan Furenbacher, doing more than just blocking for our running backs. Speaking of running backs, though, how about RJ Valencia? He's going to get into the game for the first time since he suffered that devastating elbow injury in year number 1. Nearly picks up a first down for your Gore Pirates, where he'll eventually be taken care of by Derek Davis. So, that being said, a 1st and 10 coming up as Davis continues to try the up-tempo offense. Looks over to the left-hand side and finds Jackson Durant. for another near first down. It's going to pick up a gain of 9. As we'll head back to the ground to hand it off to Carl Durant, who is going to explode into the hole. Pause. And it's going to be a huge gain as we now set ourselves up in the goal line situation. Edmond sends the blitz, but Jackson Durant is going to win on the outside. And boy, do they needed that because they were coming. Touchdown for the Gore Pirates. And we have now our biggest lead of the day, up 34-21. And now the pressure is on Malachi Miller and company. However, they have one of the most dynamic running backs in the country. And you just see the raw speed on Demarcus Robinson. He's been bottled up pretty well today. But man, when he can get any kind of hole from his offensive line, he could make something happen. However, we know how to match that intensity. Just in time, able to get in there and get his second tackle for loss on the day. So I would imagine now that they'll try to pass the ball, but no, we're going to keep it on the ground. And Demarcus Robinson gets a little loose yet again, able to pick up a gain of 11 yards. But we do have a new school record for Demarcus Robinson. Been around since the great Gary Allen was roaming the hallways at Edmond Santa Fe High School back in the 1980s. So a new school record for that young man. But can his team come out on top? They'll be down by 13. So last quarter, and that means one quarter away, I should say, from a sectional championship. Can the Gore Pirates hang on? Well, we'll see what we can do here on this drive, as there's Nico Collins able to make the catch and pick up a gain of 9. As now, looking at a 1st and 10, Miller looks over to right hand side and finds Caius Henry once again. Call it a hat trick in the World Cup because he scored for the 3rd time today. This time burning Dalton Barrettine, the junior corner. So we're going to have to figure that out later. But in the meantime, we do get a studio update, though, as Carl Albert is starting to pull away from the South Lake Dragons. A huge game up in that 6-8 division. That meanwhile, we have the ball with 5 minutes left. We just got to be smart here. Let's see if we can run some clock. And if we can get some points scored, then it could be barbecue chicken. And sure enough, that's one way to get that barbecue chicken cooked. As Jody Gentry getting open. He's having a fantastic day today. We'll see if we can find him yet again. As we do run across a critical 3rd down. 3rd and 5 to be exact, as Davis drops back. Looking around, he's going to try to throw to right hand side. And Jackson Durant somehow hangs on to it. That was not an easy play. But Jackson Durant came to play as well. He's now at over 100 yards on the day. But still have actually a little bit less than 4 minutes left here in this ball game. Now looking at a 3rd and 8. Davis lined up in the shotgun. He's going to drop back. Looks over to the left-hand side. He's got Jody Gentry. Tries to make a move, but a great open field tackle there by number 8. And it's going to be 1st and goal. So a chance for us to go ahead and run some time off the clock. And Edmond Santa Fe knows the assignment as they are starting to call their timeouts. But even timeouts can't help you when you have Carl Durant on the outside. Touchdown, Pirates! That could seal the deal. 2 minutes left, and we're now going to be up by multiple possessions. That could be the icing on the cake. Or is it this 2-point conversion? We'll see if we can do this 2-point conversion successfully, as Davis, he's just going to go ahead and run into the end zone, takes a shot. But hey, that's an extra 2 points on the board, as we do find out that Carl Albert, well, they're going to be moving on to the quarterfinals of the bigger state playoffs. But let's see if we can finish the job here. 2:19 left to play here in this ball game. Down by 2 possessions, as that is a dime to Rowan Garrett. And that is a big chunk play that we really could not have given up there. I mean, we had the clock on our side, and give up those kind of chunk plays, well, that's an issue. But what's certainly not an issue is getting to Malachi Miller, as Chase Henry gets a timely sack. Now we got 4th and 17 coming up. Miller looking to deliver in the pocket, fires to run inside, and Caius Henry is going to come down and make the catch. Caius Henry killing us today nearly 200 yards receiving. He's been balling out, and that will continue as Caius Henry gets open yet again. Malachi Miller's put up some impressive stats, nearly 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, but most of it is going to this specific kid. If he's not a Division I player next year, he is a senior by the way, I would legitimately be shocked. And I'm also shocked that they're going to go for it here on the 2-point conversion. They get it, but I'm surprised that they went for it in the first place. They would have been okay with just being down by 7, but maybe they're trying to be a little bit more aggressive, and it works. So this onside kick becomes that much more important as we got to find a way to recover this, and we do. Casey Shiverly, the senior, playing in his final high school game. Well, he is going to pick up the onside kick, and a stunner is absolutely complete. Your Gore Pirates are going to take down the Edmond Centipede Wolves, number 17 in the state, 42-36. What an incredible ball game that we had for the 4A sectional championship game. What an incredible moment for this team that was considered at the bottom just a couple of years ago, now champions of their district. Now, usually I just go in and talk about the individual stats for our guys, but I do want to give a special shout out to Caius Henry. He lives up to his name, and he lives it by a long shot. This was honestly one of the best games I've ever seen. 5 catches, 214 yards, 4 touchdowns. They may have lost this game, but Caius Henry, he is going to be a college football player somewhere after his senior year. Mark it down. However, it was a team effort to get it done, and it took 4 phases to make it happen here. Derek Davis gets his first varsity start, and he was balling today. 22 for 28, 284 yards, and 3 touchdowns. We also had some guys step up off our bench as well. Carl Durant was somebody that did not play very much this season, but in his final game, he goes 16 for 79, 2 rushing touchdowns. All of those are season highs, and a good thing too, because while Vita St. Louis was in this game, we got basically nothing from Vita St. Louis all game long. Now, for the receivers, we had some very good performances. This was really a Jody Gentry and Jackson Durant type deal. Jody Gentry had 89 yards and a touchdown, with Jackson Durant having over 100 yards on the day, and also finding the end zone as well. This was not a big day, though, for Casey Shiverly. He was very quiet in his final game of the season and possibly of his high school career. Casey Shiverly, though, was able to make it count, though. 1 yard, 1 catch, and 1 touchdown to go with it. However, the defense was shredded to oblivion here today, but we did have some bright spots in this game. Brandon Berry had 7 tackles, and just in time was able to get 5 total tackles and 5 solo tackles as well. We did get to this quarterback a couple of times as well. Savion Simmons was able to force a sack, but Chase Henry was also able to not only force a sack, but Savion Simmons actually recovered the fumble. Thought that was Chase Henry, but it was actually the sophomore in Savion Simmons that recovered a fumble. Porter Lindstrid, though, makes the fumble recovery. He had 2 solo tackles and 1 TFL today. Zaire Joseph, meanwhile, had a chance to make an interception, but just could not make it happen. But defense did just enough to win this game, and we are going to be district champions here in year number 2. But while we've had an absolutely incredible season, that being said, is not enough for us to qualify for this top 8 in the Oklahoma State playoffs. Carl Albert does end up going undefeated, but some of the other teams to watch out for is, how about Bisto? You guys remember the Bisto Pirates that we played in the spring game last offseason? Well, they've been having an excellent season down in single A, and they end up going 7-1, looking to make some noise as they'll take on Norman North. Looks like Carl Albert, they're going to be the odds-on favorite, though, to win the Oklahoma State Championship, as they are currently the only team in the entire state of Oklahoma that has not lost a single game this entire season. So while our 10-win season was not good enough to get us to a deep run into the state playoffs, it was good enough, however, to get a top 25 ranking for the very first time in this series. We will finish as number 24 in the OK Preps top 25 to end the season. And next episode will be an interesting episode. What we will end up doing for that next episode is we're going to show you the spring game. We're going to have a spring scrimmage against McAllister, a good McAllister team, by the way. We'll also kind of take a peek into who ends up winning that state championship, who ends up making that deep and ultimate run into the state playoffs, as well as those other things that you would typically see in an off season. So hope you guys enjoyed season number 2. It feels good to end the year on a 6-game winning streak. Feels really good to be able to pull that off. So hope you enjoyed this season, and I hope you enjoyed this series in its entirety. If you enjoyed it as much as I did, make sure you go ahead and do a couple of favors for me. Go ahead and smack that like button. Then also hit that subscribe button as well if you do happen to be brand new to the channel. This is John J Gaming on the mic signing off, but hoping you guys are all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.